in here and talk to people.
Yeah, we just do it. We haven't even launched one yet, obviously.
I was going to say, I haven't seen one yet.
I think you're like number 14 or 15.
Oh, okay.
Are we on? Are we live? But this is truly the one outbound thing that I've done.
Yeah.
That's generated $250,000 since, and I haven't even launched an episode.
Just by like.
Yeah, just like the network. And
Yo,
stuff.
dude, I'm just sitting down in a podcast. We're like 1 second from starting.
As a
it's okay.
service.
PDP needs to get done. As soon as I'm done with these podcasts, I'll go do the homepage copy, and then the copy needs to be edited and updated. Yep. And the PDP, they want well designed, but just inside the existing theme.
What's the...
No like dicking around.
Amor fati. Yeah. It's an old Latin.
But well, and like
because the one
we could put a frequently asked question at the bottom. We could go pull reviews from Harry Josh InStyle or whatever, drop them in. We could do a little bit like kind of like we did with Stupid Car Tray.
When is the first lunch break pod going to launch?
November 1, I think.
Thanks, dude. Bye.
November 1?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
November
we finally
1.
got the assets done. Did I tell you what so we have like 6 primary colors, which is, how do you have 6 primary colors? But that's what Elliot wants. He's like, I want a brand where there's not a primary color, where it's just like pretty fluid.
Yeah.
So like the first episode will just be our episode, you and me.
Yeah.
And he's got 3 Instagram posts that'll go across the top that are all one style and one color and one vibe. And then I think we have Riley as the second episode.
Yeah.
And the style and the colors and the vibe, totally different, but 3 other posts, but yet they fit together somehow. It's actually kind of cool.
That's dope.
He's done pretty cool. And we've like very much simplified the brand, the logo.
Yeah.
None of the
Minimalist,
lunchbox like thing that we were trying to do. Like it's just simple, and then it's all like fun cutout, collage, kind of like textures.
Dude.
So I don't know. I'm a big fan.
Bro,
Is it like one a week
be dope.
that you're going to launch?
Well,
think so.
What did we say? Like 4 or 5 to begin with?
Yeah, we'll dump 3.
He's the wizard.
We'll dump 3 and then we'll go 1 a week.
Cool.
Yeah. But I think I slated you in earlier than 15. I'm trying to balance like...
Yeah.
I'm trying to balance
people
the
and not
noobs.
interesting people?
Yeah, so I'm putting you in between 2 uninteresting people.
So we can, like
lot of
radio.
You got to juice it up.
A lot of pressure.
Like radio
is what you're
songs.
telling me.
Yeah. Actually, every episode though that we've recorded has been.
Have you seen?
Did your
say
text
muffins?
notification just say muffins?
Yeah, ding ding ding. Have you ever seen Psych?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
Sean Spencer. He makes a muffins commercial. He goes, bum 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 muffins.
Never heard that.
You've never seen Psych?
Psych is a good. That's
Okay,
a good one, dude.
That
It's super old, but it's.
I've watched
still
it
good.
like 3 times all the way through.
Yeah, it's still good.
Sean is like one of the best characters ever.
I think you'd like it actually, Nick.
Really?
You would like it.
Yeah.
All right, I should try.
I mean, if Dalton and I both really like it.
That puts it in a high.
What else?
That
do
means you
need?
got to at least watch the pilot.
I don't think I need much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got to watch.
I will say my phone, when it gets to 20% battery,
Yeah.
Siri comes on and goes, "Yo, bro, I'm dying over here. Plug me in."
That's amazing.
I thought that was
that's so
funny.
funny.
Although it gets annoying.
I'm sure.
It gets
You're
real.
a busy
It does it
guy.
at 20 and then it does it at 10 and you're like, I got it.
Yeah.
Like
A lot of people blowing you up. I'm sure your phone battery struggles.
I'm so you both know just how bad I am at replying via text.
awful.
The only person who I think is worse,
Levi Lindsay.
Levi Lindsay, dude. Because we're on a 3-way
Well, the worst part,
text.
the worst part is being the GM for We Are Mind
Yeah.
with these guys.
We
There's
warned
a
you,
3-way
dude.
text, and it's just like
Crickets.
I'm like talking to myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't I just go look in the
crickets.
mirror and have this
Yeah.
conversation and then figure it out that way instead of like wait for Nick or Levi to respond because
I will say
It'll be
I'm
like-
better than he is.
sure,
Yeah.
Not much.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
but
Hey.
but I am better.
1%
It'll
better
go-
is all you have to be.
You'll go 3 weeks with like a pretty important question and Levi won't answer, and then he'll chime in and he'll be like, dude, did you see this GIF?
Yeah.
And then you're like, answer the question, dude.
Oh yeah, he won't answer anything.
Yeah.
He'll just drop a meme, drop a GIF,
and,
something.
and walk into the conversation, act like 2 weeks hadn't just passed by.
Well,
Yeah.
no, then he
Like,
won't say anything. Then you'll reply. Then you'll reply to the GIF, and then you still won't get anything.
Yeah.
All
Like, dude,
right,
I know
dude.
you're on your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Levi,
I just saw you
reply to
post-
your damn text messages.
dude. There's been times where I literally have to text Nick separately, and just say, "Hey, I really need a response from Levi. Can you try one-on-one reaching out to him, see if we can bring him back into the loop?"
Send him a
That's-
can of sardines for spill your guts or fill your guts.
Yeah. It's so bad though when
Yeah.
you're reaching out to me for it because like
Oh, no.
Mark Anderson, one of my dearest friends,
I love Mark.
he's so passive aggressive when I don't reply. And I love it, but I also freaking hate it because I'm just like, you son of a bitch, you're right. He'll like say like, morning man, how's it going? Hey, I had this thought, whatever. I might be a day, 2 days behind. A day goes by and then he'll just question mark his own comment. I'm like, bro, stop. I know I need to get, it's still on unread. Like, chill.
I don't know if I've ever done that before.
That's funny.
I've had people do it to me, the whole like exclamation point or
Oh, the
question
reactions
mark
on-
or how
yeah.
like it's like, why not just say another text? It's the same thing. Same notification.
It's just not so passive aggressive.
Yeah.
You do that and you're like,
It's a big deal.
Yeah. You son of a bitch.
yeah. Come on, Mark. Public service announcement. Mark,
Yeah.
stop doing that.
Yeah.
But I feel so guilty,
Yeah.
but just not guilty enough to reply.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guilty enough to think about it later.
yeah.
Next time we run into each other in person, it's like, oh man, I really should have got back to you sooner.
Yeah.
You see him in
But then the
person.
next time it's like, yeah, I still am not going to get back to you that fast.
I will say I used to be bad at texting back even to like my wife and kids.
Yeah.
And now I've set up a rule like if I have a missed text from my wife or kids, they're the only ones that are pinned
Yeah.
on my, text thread thing. If I have a missed text from them, I reply to that before I reply to anyone else.
That's smart.
So I never leave my kids or my wife second.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I might go a day without sending a text to them too. Like I just
Yeah. That's how it is with mine. It's my wife, my dad, and my
Oh, yeah.
8-year-old. Because he can only send me voice memos
Would-
on his Gab watch.
he's got a Gab thing.
Yes.
So he sends me the voice memo,
Love it.
and I go back and listen to it, and then I'll send him a voice memo back, and nothing. But like if he's texting his mom, I'll be there. They'll like be in the same room, in the same house.
Voice text.
And he'll send voicemail or a voice memo back to his mom. And I'm like, dude, I'm traveling. I haven't seen you in 5 days.
Yeah, reply to
I
me.
can't even get a voice memo back.
on.
Nothing.
Come on.
8-year-olds.
He's a cute kid.
He's fun.
Yeah. Theo the other day was like, hey, Dad, what was that kid's name that we were at the soccer game with?
Yeah.
And I was like, Crew?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Crew's cool, Dad. I was like, yeah, I thought so too.
After we left that, so Jess went and bought, my wife went and bought the item of the night. It was like those little Leo the lion stuffed animals.
Oh, yeah.
Cruz's name Theo.
No, it's not.
Because of that night. Swear on my life.
I'm going to have to tell Theo that.
Swear on my life, it's named Theo.
He was in here yesterday because it's fall break, just drawing mazes on like our big art papers.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And then every 10 seconds, he'd be knocking on my office window. Dad, I need it. Like, I can't hear anything. I'm convinced he's also not even talking. He's just
moving his
mouthing
mouth.
things and like doing sign language. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm literally on a video Zoom call with a client, and we're like in the thick of like going through his emails, and he knows it. I've never seen worse welcome series emails in my life.
Really?
Dude, they've been running for 4 months, 0 revenue attributed through them.
Well, yeah.
And it's like, okay, you
Not
got
great.
some problems. It's
Yeah.
not just the design, even though that doesn't look good.
Right.
But we're doing it. And Theo walks over and looks at the screen and just starts giving dirty looks like, and I'm like, dude, I'm on a call. He's seeing you making these faces.
Yeah.
Like,
When
like
the 8 or
knowing-
9-year-old
yeah.
has it figured out that the creative is
yeah. He
not
walks over,
great.
like, oh, who did that, Dad?
He's like, man, I really hope that's not your guys' work. Yeah.
He's like, give me 5 minutes. I'll mock one up on this paper next to my mazes.
With some color. Yeah, with color.
Colored
yeah.
pencils.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theo. Theo the lion.
Theo the lion.
And it also works because it's Leo the lion
yeah.
anyway, so it's so close. But
So close.
Crew just loves to make new friends.
He was fun, dude.
He like
Those two instantly just.
immediately. He did it last night. Like the awesome lady that runs our warehouse for Pitted Logistics. We had this big Halloween party. She has like a 7-year-old son, and like best friends, hugging at the end of the night. Like had to give him a hug goodbye. Like that's just. He's a better person than me.
Dude, I don't want to hug anyone. I'm sorry.
Dude, big hugger family here.
I just.
Always. Dude, I hug you every time I see you.
Yeah.
And you just take it.
Yeah, he was like, this is gonna happen.
But fine. I'll stop doing it as soon as you text me back in a timely manner. How about that?
I'd rather be hugged.
Yeah, so I'll forever get unlimited hugs.
Yeah,
whenever
dude, I
see
think
you,
that's fine. I
'cause
think
I'll never.
there are certain people that threshold has been broken, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this
Yeah.
is good. I feel like you and I are there.
Yeah. Oh,
I would hope
appreciate
so.
that. I hope so too.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Dalton, if you're not careful, we're going to start making out.
It's
Yeah,
true.
we're gonna have to break it
Wait,
up.
Dalton's here.
I mean,
Oh, son of a. Dude, do you guys know who Henry Rollins is?
no.
I know the name.
Singer of the Black Flag. Like, he's in his 60s. This dude's so hardcore.
Yeah.
But I like listening to his. So he's like hardcore punk, like F the establishment. But then he was also the guy that was like standing up doing poetry readings and writing books. And he's kind of like a civilized, sophisticated punk.
Okay.
Well, he goes on tour and just does speaking. Like he doesn't even sing all the time. He'll just go and do like, it's not quite a comedy stand up. It's just him
Like a
word
speech, yeah.
vomiting.
Yeah.
And dude, he has one speed and it's like 10x the normal of everyone else. He just But I was listening to it this morning and he talked about how he's like, yeah, I just walk into parties or events. I just close my eyes, open my mouth, stick out my tongue. Whoever's into it, man, like, let's go. I'm game. And you're like, this is a 61-year-old punk rocker, like saying this to his follower. Like, it's not who his followers typically would be.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Creed Bratton.
From
The
Office?
Office, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
Are you a big Office guy?
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've never met
It'd
anyone that
be
likes
like,
The Office more than you and my daughter.
That's fair.
I probably
dude.
don't like The Office as much as Dalton, but I do love The Office.
Gosh, it's so funny. It's such a good one.
That's like when I work from home. That's like the one thing on in the background because I'm not like a big music guy. When I work, I like to have like a show on in the background.
Yeah.
But I like it to be something like I've seen a million times.
So
Yeah,
what's
you
like
don't have
Brook-
to like keep up with
Yeah,
it.
I don't have to keep up.
an
I can
ADHD
laugh. Yeah, oh for sure. It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Great
It's
show.
The
Minus season
Office. Yeah, that's true.
Arrested Development?
Superstore.
Super
I've never
Store.
seen that.
Somebody's gonna have to
Somebody's-
sell me on Arrested Development.
The
I
money's in the banana stands.
Dude, I just have not. I've watched the first like 4 episodes.
And you
probably
can't get into
3
it?
different times. It's that.
It's
So
illusions,
so
Michael.
I'm about-
Illusions.
I'm about to get booed on this, but it's that. It's Community, and it's Parks and Rec.
I love Parks and Rec.
Dude, my
Gosh
Community,
dang it,
I'm with
man.
you.
Yeah,
Like,
Community, I'm with you.
My office loves Parks and Rec, and they want to talk to me about it. I'm just like,
Chris Pratt, that was his.
and I love Chris Pratt. That's
Dude,
the hardest part.
He's so funny.
I
in Parks
love
and Rec.
Chris Pratt.
I couldn't get
Can't
into
do it.
like the one. I feel the same way. Like I like Arrested Development, but I couldn't get into Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, see,
Something's wrong with you.
you
dude.
lose me there.
Yeah, that I like.
I couldn't.
Charlie
do it.
Day.
Oh yeah. So
That man
good.
can do no wrong.
Yeah. So good.
Although I think the funniest sitcom of all time,
All right.
without a question. Like I would fight people over this. It's Curb Your Enthusiasm.
What is that?
Are you kidding me? Have you? Do you know what it
Curb Your
is?
Enthusiasm. What the fuck?
It's Larry David.
Okay.
It's who
look at it.
created Seinfeld or
Right,
Seinfeld.
right.
And it's
I know what it is. I
It's
just
kind of
never-
like it's not really, but it's supposed to be a documentary about his life.
I was gonna say it's kind
after
of like a docu-series
Seinfeld
type
ended.
thing. Yeah.
It is so funny,
Really.
dude.
Okay. Well,
It is. There's 10, 11 seasons out
11
now.
seasons. Yep.
It is
Is it still
hands down.
going?
Yeah, hands down the funniest show. Leon is his like roommate. His roommate. It is the funniest show. But it's like
Oh, you got-
Seinfeld, but TV mature.
Okay.
So fun. Not like nudie or anything, but they say
Vulgar.
anything and everything that they want. Yeah, dude.
You're like, they
That's
string
crazy.
together words that don't go together just to meet quotas.
He has a whole episode where he takes medicine because he's got a urinary tract problem, and so it makes it come out like crazy fast.
Yeah.
And he goes into
my God.
a former employee's house to try to get her back. She quit because he was telling her she couldn't wear a shirt that showed her midriff because she had
like
a
a
muffin
crop
top.
top? Yeah.
Because she had a muffin top. So he's like trying to make up to her, and then he goes into her bathroom and he's like peeing, and it's so aggressive. It splashes and lands on the picture of Jesus next to the toilet.
Oh, you said that.
And the
yes,
lady
okay, yes.
believes that like Jesus is crying, and so she goes on this whole tour about it. Dude, that might be the single greatest 30 minutes in like sitcom history.
That
to
seems
watch
like
it.
pretty funny. Yeah, that
It's-
seems pretty funny.
It's unbelievable.
I'm gonna have to watch
That's
that
funny,
one.
dude.
And it's
Holy
like
shit.
it's not necessarily that you have to watch it in order. I mean, it is
Yeah.
like a docu.
There is a story, yeah.
There is a story that is ongoing, but when you watch it in order, 7 episodes later, or 7 seasons later, you're like, they've been setting us up for that joke for 4 seasons. Like,
That's cool.
That's awesome.
It's
I like,
so
that.
funny.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that.
Yeah, that, I think that's why I think that's why Dave Chappelle is like one of the best comedians because he'll bring jokes all the way around, and you're like, I think the storytelling in that spot.
Okay, but so you'll watch TV when you're at home working,
Yeah.
and you can zone it out enough because it's something you know.
Oh yeah.
But what about when you're at the office?
Locked in.
Music? Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No. I'm a big relationship person. So it's
Yeah.
important to me that I sit right in the bullpen, right in the middle of everything.
Yep.
And so it's important to me to kind of hear and understand kind of what's going on.
Oh, so you're eavesdropping.
No.
You like drama?
Yeah.
I'm
Drama king?
I'm
Let's go.
knowledge. I'm knowledge sharing.
He's like, did you hear about Robert?
He's like, wait,
Dude.
what they say, dude?
Friggin' Robert.
He's like, I don't like drama, but other people's drama.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that's my shit.
Yeah. No, it's I look at it as knowledge sharing, and I'm just soaking in knowledge from conversations I'm not part of.
yeah.
Also, another way to define eavesdropping, I guess.
But there's no
I think
shame
it
in
is.
that, dude.
That's
Come
fine.
on, bro. Yeah.
Dude, I love eavesdropping or like even driving down the freeway,
Yeah.
right? Which I call the Mormon 500 every day coming to and from work. Dude.
Yes.
It's all these like polite Mormons who are getting in their car, giving the bird, driving 1,000 miles
You don't
an
even have
hour.
to do the point of the mountain, though. Dalton knows
That's
that.
true.
The
Yeah,
point of the
the
mountain
point
is
of the
the
mountain's
worst
terrible,
part of the
dude.
Mormon 500.
That was so funny.
I don't understand, like going back to the music thing though, because I'm going to avoid
All right,
that
yeah,
conversation.
Go ahead. That'll be good.
I have a hard time listening to music with words or like a podcast because I can't listen to that and then also pay attention to work.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. If it's like when I work at home, I record English soccer and I'll put that on.
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
The volume's just loud enough. Like if something happens, I can be like, oh, rewind, what?
Yeah.
But that's it because I can't. But I also have found at the office, it's weird. Like I have an Amazon Alexa at my desk. My Mac has speakers. I can't play music out loud and focus.
Yeah.
I have to put headphones on. And then same music, all of a sudden I'm locked in. I don't know why it's different.
Yeah, that's interesting. James,
but it is.
what's your favorite band? And plus 10 points if it's Blink 182. But go ahead.
Wow. I don't know that I have. Like, my music taste is all over the freaking place.
Okay.
I love country music sometimes. I hate country music sometimes. Like,
Well, it
it's just
depends on
very,
who's
like,
singing
mood driven for me. I'm a
Interesting.
huge Luke Combs fan, mostly because I feel like
Shout out.
I
Him
couldn't,
and
I
him and I
couldn't
look
tell
the
you one
same.
song of his.
Luke Combs.
He's good, though.
You could put it on, I'd be like, no, probably never heard it. I would never know it was him either.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen.
He's good.
He's so good. I mean,
Because
he's
I've been
probably-
think if you
obsessed
like-
with Zach Bryan
If
lately.
you, I was going to say, if you like Zach Bryan, Luke
Yeah,
Combs
Luke
is right
Combs,
up
I
that
think,
alley.
is kinda in that
Right
realm.
up that alley.
Okay.
Luke Combs is like the biggest in the country game right now. Like,
Okay, I'll have
think
to.
so.
he's selling out venues like never before seen. But he's just like, I don't know.
Like
He's
Garth
a-
Brooks selling out venues, dude?
No, nobody sells out.
Because, I mean,
Well, it goes
yeah.
Taylor, Garth
Swifties.
Brooks down here somewhere.
yeah.
You know,
I heard that she's going to make $4 billion on her tour.
Yeah, the last
Yeah,
one.
that Eras tour is a movie. That's all my freaking.
Oh, my wife and daughter went on
Yeah,
Sunday.
they just want to go. Yeah,
Freaking made friendship bracelets, dressed up, the whole nine. My 4-year-old
yeah.
and my wife.
It was a good thing that Travis Kelce made her famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen those TikToks? Where it's
Never
like,
heard of Taylor Swift before Travis Kelce put her on the map. Craziest thing. I was actually reading a stat
they
that
flip flop.
she
Kanye's
was gonna,
so jealous of Travis right now.
It's true. She put like $80 billion back into the economy this year during the Eras tour, which is more than all 55 Super Bowls combined.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
My
yeah.
goodness.
I was just
She
like,
has more.
How? Like,
She has more followers than the NFL does.
yeah, it's insane. It's crazy. Hey, good for her.
yeah. I mean,
My wife,
Whatever,
and
dude. Yeah, go for it.
my wife for a long time, for a decade now, is trying to turn me into a Taylor Swift fan, and I'm just like, can't do it. My 4-year-old gets into it. In 30 days, I'm like singing at the top of my lungs in the car.
Well, you're a
My
good
wife
dad.
just like gives me a dirty look, and she's like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "She loves it." So,
Dude, when your kid likes
dad's
something,
gotta
it
buy
changes
in.
it.
Yeah.
Dad's
And
got to buy in.
Yeah, it changes it.
Yeah,
see,
that's true.
Friendship bracelets right here. My Taylor Swift friendship
way to do
bracelets
it.
from both my kids. So
And I like that you continue to rock the We Are Mind ones.
2+ years, never
Yeah.
ever come off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Since the
Mine
day
snapped,
you
but I
gave
think
them
it's
to me.
I have really fat wrists.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I can't get anything over it.
I ended up getting these, and when I was in Greece, and the guy was like, "You can't shop 80% of the store. Wrists are too big. Let me walk you over here." He like walks me to the back corner. I'm like, "Oh, jeez."
Dude, there's a big and tall section for
Well,
bracelets.
No, I think it's called the girthy section. I have a girthy wrist.
let's use words like that, but not in their proper place. So let's put girth on wrist and
Yeah. My wrist is as girthy as like a monster can, dude.
probably more.
Yeah.
Something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, bro.
I tried so hard to get my 13-year-old for years to expand beyond Imagine Dragons and like,
Yeah.
dude, come on. Because I love hip hop. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm with you. I mean, I listened to Zach Bryan on the way in today.
Yeah.
It just hits. But I love hip hop. I finally got him into it. And now he's like a snob, dude.
Really?
Will not listen to anything else. I'm like, okay, just like I got you into hip hop, you gotta get into some other things. Like, I've been trying to show him Danzig and the Misfits, and he's like, I don't get it, Dad. And I'm like, the attitude and the culture is different, but the attitude is the same. The kind of like,
Yeah. It's just done a different way.
I got this, you
Yeah.
know.
I'm a
And
huge NF guy right now.
Okay.
I love NF. I literally listen to it.
I don't even know
every
what that
single
is.
day.
I've heard. I'm so old.
I sent you a song, actually, from NF.
Wait, no, you didn't.
Did too.
Uh,
Talking about what success looks like.
Where
'Cause you're outside.
on text?
Probably.
Well,
Well,
It's 3
we've already
weeks
had that
old
conversation.
now.
Yeah, we've already.
No,
had
I'm
that
a
conversation.
huge, and I think he like fits. He's like such a perfect blend between like rap and hip hop. But like when you actually like
So
literally listen to it every single day, when you actually start to listen to some of the lyrics, I'm like,
here's
holy
NF.
shit.
This is NF. NF is if Eminem didn't hate his mom so bad, but tried to still get the message across that.
Yeah. NF had a good upbringing. And so it's like
But it's like moody,
motivational,
yeah.
inspirational, like, but it's kind of in that same realm sound.
You might
I'll have
you
to
might
give that a
sound
shot.
familiar as
Yeah.
like
I'll send
Eminem,
you
yeah.
a couple.
yeah,
of my favorite ones.
I'll listen to him
Yeah.
this time.
I'll make sure I'll send them to you like on LinkedIn.
Slack.
Yeah, I'll Slack them to you.
Slack's so
Text
much
I know
better,
is
dude.
I actually
giant fail.
noticed that about Nick. His
Oh,
Slack
he's
is a
awesome in
little bit better,
Slack.
Yeah, dude, I'm on.
Awesome
I'm
in
on
Slack.
Slack.
Yeah.
Text though, like I used to be a little bit better at text when it was connected to my computer, but somehow I got disconnected.
I'm in that spot too.
It doesn't, and I can't get it back.
I can't figure out.
I don't know why.
I deleted all my names. So all the numbers are there
Just
still.
numbers.
And so I'm like, frick, I don't know. even
Yeah,
where to
that's
start with
game
this.
over, dude.
If I don't know who the person is, I'm not gonna even try to reach back out.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. And I'll send a voice text every once in a while. I know you were talking about this, but I hate getting them because I don't want to listen.
Back to who loves the voice text. The only time Levi Lindsay responds,
I know.
voice text. Every time.
Well, and
I have
Voice
never
texts
sent
are-
one in my whole entire life. Like I've used Siri to like type out something,
Sure.
but never a voice text.
I like voice
There's
text,
something
but
about
they're
it, yeah.
dangerous, dude. They're
The-
dangerous.
there's
when I
something
do
about
it is when I drive.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, hey, and I'll always be like, I know I've said this before, but I'm only sending you a voice text because I'm driving. I hate voice text.
You have to preface it.
Anyways. But it's like, it's because what could be said in 7 words in a text message
Yeah.
is now a 2.5 minute
No.
voice memo that you also can't listen to in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to wait until you're in private and then listen, and then you're like,
Listen,
Oh my
the rule for voice text is always sub 1 minute. If you're over a minute, don't send it. I once got
I like that
a,
rule.
I
We
once
need to
got like
subscribe a few people that I know to that rule.
I once got an 8-minute voice memo from somebody, and I just
wouldn't
texted them back, and I was like, just call me.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I'm not listening to this whole shit.
Yeah.
You went through 4 topics, and I can't even. My
if I had
ADHD
8
too
minutes
bad,
to
dog.
listen to something, I'm going to listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to somebody that like
Yeah.
actually knows what they're talking about. Instead
Right,
of
dude. Blink
your
182's new
ramblings.
album. and shit, dude.
I couldn't last 8 seconds with that, dude. Whiny dicks.
I gotta troll Nick, dude. He fucking hates.
Not a
he
big
hates
Blink guy,
Blink.
huh?
I don't even think they
Is
qualify as a band.
They're only 3 people.
They're so bad, dude.
Iconic.
No,
They had the
they're
best
so bad.
album names. Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
That's so inappropriate.
It's also clever though.
It's hilarious.
I mean,
Think
I
about
guess.
that. If you saw it like on, trying to think of like
Your mom didn't get it, and you're like, oh, mom.
well, I'm trying to think like even now, like if you saw that on a billboard for a pants brand or something
Dude,
like that, it
yes.
would hit. It's like I could see Kizik doing something like that if they didn't have, if they had pants and jackets.
if they were a little more edgy, they're probably not that
Like,
brand.
what would their tagline be like?
They got a little edge.
Take
to
off
them.
your shoes and 10 knuckler it. Like,
Heyo.
What up, Alex
Hey,
MacArthur? What up, dog?
they need to do a whole white knuckle campaign. Just grip it.
That's so funny, dude. I almost snagged a pair of Kiziks.
I have a pair.
I don't have a pair yet.
I was gonna wear them today. The
You like 'em?
Mars Roamers.
Are those the new ones?
Yeah, they're like the. It was like the spin-off of the Jet Puff one they did.
That Jet Puff one, dude. I've been on record. I love Alex. I love Blake.
And Kizik.
And I love Kizik. But, dude, those Jet Puff ones, they ain't it.
Yeah.
Like,
That was funny, yeah.
Shout
You gotta
out to
try
Blake
them.
and
You gotta
Alex
try
if they
them.
can find me a 10.5 in the Jet Puffed. I will rock them.
you would wear them.
daily.
No.
Daily. The day I got my Mars Roamers, I got they're like a light gray one. I wore them for like 2.5 weeks straight.
Dude, I went to Nordstrom Rack.
Yeah.
And I bought a pair of house slippers that have like a real sole on them.
Yeah.
Nothing in the back, so it's hands free. But they're like, it's a quilt on top. $9.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'll buy you a pair.
That's like the Mars Roamers.
Use those instead.
Yeah. No, I love my Mars Roamers. For somebody that
That's funny,
has
dude.
deals with like neuropathy really bad and bad legs from when I was paralyzed, like the Mars Roamers make such a big difference. Like I literally took them to a work conference and wore them for 4 days straight,
That's awesome.
and my legs
Jeez.
would have felt better than they have.
Can we
Evidence.
like talk about that?
Sure.
So, I mean, I know the story. I know
Yeah.
what went down, but will you want to
Yeah.
share? Because I think I think it's devastating and it's fascinating and it's also inspirational the way that you've like tackled this thing.
Yeah, it was honestly like in the moment, of course, it's devastating.
Yeah.
But now when I look back on it, like it changed my life. Like I'm so grateful for it happening because it literally, it started a whole new world for me.
So back up. It started. You got a COVID vaccine,
No, so I got the a flu shot
a flu shot.
in 2019. Yeah, and so
This was pre-COVID.
yeah, so this was just before COVID. So this was like October-ish. I got the flu shot. December, I was just sitting at my office I was working at Overstock at the time.
Yeah.
And it literally felt like somebody lit me on fire. This was like 8 days before Christmas.
And a couple of months after the shot.
Yeah, about 60 days. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this was like, I think there's about 10,000 people. Last I looked, there's about 10,000 people in the world that get diagnosed with it every year. So,
And you've had flu
Pretty-
shots before.
oh yeah, every year. I just had, when you go in there and they're always like, hey, there's like this like 0.00001% chance you can have this adverse reaction to it.
And you're like,
it.
that's not me.
Yeah, that's the adverse reaction. So I was diagnosed with a disease, I don't know, sickness, syndrome, whatever you want to call it.
Caused by.
Yeah, caused by the flu vaccine. So it's called Guillain-Barré syndrome. And I had a pretty rare form of it. Typically what it'll do is it'll work its way through your body in about 2 weeks. I was paralyzed from the waist down for just about 6 months, just over 6 months.
Did you know during that time that it was going to come back, or were they like, we don't know?
They still don't really know. Like they have a test that they can tell if it's kind of chronic or not. And they're like, from what we can see, it's not. I still deal with it every day. There's days that I'm on, forearm crutches just because it's difficult.
I know we've been at events and things together, and you're like, yeah, man, I need to sit down. I need to take a few minutes.
It's something that continues to challenge me, but it started, like I said, at Overstock. Felt like somebody lit me on fire. Literally got carried out to my wife's car. Called her and I was like, hey, I need you to come get me. And, she's like, hey, I'm going to take you to the hospital. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I must have just like sat weird or did something weird. Felt almost like a pinched nerve, if anybody's ever had a pinched nerve, where you just kind of start to get like that feeling like your legs are asleep. Like if you lay on your arm for too long, type of thing, you get kind of like that staticky feeling. That's what it started
Pins and
as.
needles, kind of.
That's what it started as. So I was like,
and
no,
that was like, from the waist down, or that was your whole body?
No, it had just gotten up to about like my knees. But like I could feel like a warmth from basically the waist down.
Wow.
And so I was like, hey, just take me home. Like, I'm just going to sleep it off. I'll lay on the hot pad. I'll pass out for a couple hours.
Probably not connecting at all to the flu shot, because it's 60 days later.
Yeah,
and
I've had a long time.
You're like, maybe I just sat weird.
I've had it 30 times. At this point I was,
I
don't know, 31 when this happened. Woke up, gone. Waist down.
You woke up and it was just like you couldn't move.
Gone. Yeah.
And did you have any feeling?
Mm-mm. And I found out that I didn't have any feeling by trying to get out of bed.
And just collapsing.
Yeah, I fell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
I mean, I can't imagine the physical toll that had to take, but the emotional and mental toll. Did you feel like a prisoner? I mean, what can you? Yeah. Can I ask?
Of course. No, I talk about it a lot. I've talked about it with other people that have struggled with the disease in the past.
Yeah.
Again, I think it changed my life for the positive, and always, be grateful that it happened.
I will say, if you have spent any time with you, you just know you have this, and I don't like, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not just saying this, but like, you have this vibe around you that is very welcoming and warm, and it does it. You feel very present, and maybe that's even like back to you saying like, I don't want to listen to music. I want to sit in the middle of the office, and I want to like be around the team.
Yeah.
But you do just you just have this way of making you feel like I don't need to worry about anything else. We're just like in the moment.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love people. I love relationships. I mean, that's I think what's gotten to me where I'm at in my career. But emotionally it was, I was a wreck. I didn't know what would ever happen again. I didn't know if I'd ever walk again, drive again. My daughter, who's now 4, like the very first thought that I had for both my kids at that time was like, man, I'm never going to be able to walk my kids into Disneyland. Mm-hmm. And that's like such like a, being a new dad. My son was like 4 years old. My daughter was like 4 months old. And it's just like, that's where it like really hit me. And so for months, like my wife, you've met my wife.
She's incredible. Awesome, dude. She's so awesome.
Yeah. It was like, it was never even a second thought for her. Like she would help lift me out of bed. She would help get me around. She would basically like, I could like drag my feet a little bit. Like I could sense that they were still there, but I knew that I could not do it alone. And so like, full on hands over shoulders, drag into the bathroom, whatever it was. And like months and months of testing. It's almost an impossible thing to diagnose. I went through 3 spinal taps. I was diagnosed with MS once because that's what they thought it was.
Yeah, and that's a gnarly disease.
Dealt with like the emotional, like I've had a bunch of family that's had MS and, is no longer with us. And so like dealing with the emotional toll of that piece. And then finally sharing that with all the family, and then coming back and they're like, actually, no, you don't have MS. We did another test, or the spinal tap results came back and it came back clean. And, I had to go sit in like a sports doctor, and they probably pricked me 1,500 times with needles just to like find out if the muscles were dead, basically. There's a way basically where they take this small needle and they hook it up to headphones, and it's dead silent. It's me and the doctor has headphones on, and he literally just takes the same needle and puts it in, and there's some type of sound that basically reverberates, and he's able to hear if the muscle's still basically viable or not. Spent like 2 hours or an hour and a half, something like that, getting poked with needles from basically waist down. Couldn't feel any of it, I'm sure it wouldn't have felt great if I could.
Yeah.
But fortunately,
holy cow.
couldn't. So it took me a few months. I really struggled with my own mental health, my own anxiety and depression of just like, hey, am I ever going to do this again?
Yeah, that would be a lot, dude. That would be
your whole life changes.
Yeah. But I like how you said now it's you're grateful, and I feel that, because that's what, we talked before about what was tattooed on my arm, and that's essentially what amor fati is, which is just the love of fate.
Yeah.
Like everything that happened is supposed to happen. But when did it switch for you? When did it go from like the obvious feeling of like dread and all these things to like, hey, you know what, this might, we're going to accept it and go on?
Yeah. It took me a long time because the hard part was I thought I was getting closer, and then COVID happened in that March.
Yeah.
So about 4 months later. And so, of course, like COVID happens, and the first thing they come out and say is like, hey, if you have an autoimmune disease, like you're severely at risk. And that's basically what Guillain-Barré syndrome is. So I was like, freak. Like I had finally started to kind of cope with it a little bit. We'd finally kind of started putting like plans in place, talking with different physical therapists, sports pain doctors, things like that, to just figure out like, what could I get to? What could I get back to? If I can't get back to 100%, what can I get back to? And then COVID hit, and no physical therapist would take me, because it was just like, the risk of you being here is too high with COVID. And so it was probably May 2020. My daughter started walking. She was like 9-10 months old at that point. And I was like, how cool of an opportunity to basically reteach myself how to walk the same time my daughter's learning how to walk for her first time. And so that was it. That was it for me. Is I finally, around the house, I didn't have to do the wheelchair a whole lot, which was great. But like if we ever had to leave to go anywhere, I was in a wheelchair basically. Yeah. Around the house, I really tried to push myself to like do forearm crutches. Like there were bad days where it was really, really bad, and my wife would push me around in the wheelchair. But it was that moment I was just like, I don't know if I can even do this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but like I'm at least gonna give it what I've got. If I fall on my ass, like at least I'm falling at home. Yeah. Everybody's home anyways. My wife's right here. Yeah. If I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fall. Yeah. But that was the piece for me is, it goes back to that, like, hey, I'm going to walk with my kids into Disneyland one day, and none of this is going to matter anymore. So that's what I did. Like, I finally ditched, I was down to like one crutch, like end of May, early June. Started just getting some feeling back, things like that. I started getting into the cold plunge space. So I do a lot of cold plunges. I still do it. The science behind it makes a lot of sense for me and my recovery, and like being able to basically shock my nervous system. For me, it started with a sports pain doctor that was like, hey, you should try this. This is before like, it was cold cool. Plunge was this cool craze. But even still today, I still do it. I have one in my backyard that when I have really bad days and I just need that reset, I know that I'll get it from it. But yeah, July, I kind of ditched the last crush for the last time. And every once in a while I still have to go back to it. But in, February 2021, walked my kids into Disney World, for the first time.
Dude, what a moment.
That was like the aha. My wife has like pictures, like us basically walking through the gates, both my kids, one hand in each, holding hands as we both kind of walk in. And that was the defining moment for me. Like, that's what, at that point I knew, I was like, if I can get through that, if I can get through never knowing if I'll walk again, multiple doctors not even really knowing what's going on, like spinal tap after spinal tap. I literally got like hung from my ankles for one of these spinal taps because they wanted to try a different test, like that I had never seen before, just to get like the right angle of spinal tap and make sure they get it. And you know, it was the craziest moment ever, because it's just like they're basically trying to not diagnose you with anything, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, we can't find anything. And that's where Guillain-Barré ends up really coming into it, is you can test through it with a spinal tap, but you have to eliminate everything else before you can get to that point. And so we finally got to that point, and you know, it's been awesome. Like it literally, it changed my whole focus on life. It changed my whole focus on my career, what I wanted to do with my life. You know, as an overstock at the time, through all of this, they were more than supportive, crazy supportive, you know, of my recovery and things like that. And, you know, it kind of shifted my whole trajectory to kind of where I'm at today. So
sick,
dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Crazy.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
That very cool story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nick and I sat down and talked about it for a long time one night.
Yeah.
It's something that I love sharing, because, you know, I think if I can do it, like, I'm not the most self-confident person in the world. You guys saw that at the beginning of this, and I was like, why would you want a dweeb? Man. James Clawson.
Dude, you're not a dweeb. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
And, you know.
I mean, there's a level of being humble, but then, like, sometimes you take it so far. I'm like, dude. Yeah. Is it humble, or do you just not see what I think other people see?
Well, fortunately, I have great friends and family around me, and Nick, you know, falls into that. Nick has been very supportive to me, got me out of a lot of dark places. He knows this, you know, so.
Well, it's been mutual, man.
I appreciate that.
It's 100% been mutual.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's crazy, because we met and we kind of knew each other, but not a lot. And then in between Overstock and Pitted, you had a pit stop at Vivano. That's probably not a fair way of framing it, but you were at Vivano for a period of time, and for the life of me, Dalton, could not close this dude.
Nah,
could not close this dude.
That's not true.
Tried and tried and tried. Could not close him.
He closed me.
But we
just get it through.
Yeah. But there was always this moment where I was like, it doesn't. Sometimes you're trying to close a deal and that's the focus, and then it was like, dude, I just want to be like homies with this dude. I don't care if we actually close or not. And we've had a lot of fun over the last few years. Yeah. And then Levi and I we were considering walking away from Mind, and James came out of the woodwork, man. He was like, don't, like, let me be involved. I'm like, I don't know if you know, but Levi and I are not great at this. Yeah. And now I think you're really realizing just how not great we are at it. But it's been really, you have like put a lot of energy and revived in a lot of ways Mind. And it's a tough season. Yeah. Holiday with a new job for you and things that are happening at Grounded and things that are happening with Levi. But I think we're on this path of like, we could get this back. And I think 2024 is going to be a fun year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool things to come from Mind. Yeah. You know, in the future. And hopefully, you know, some of that starts soon. But I agree. I think 2024 is going to be a big year for Mind. And it's different because when you hear like a business, right? We Are Mind is not a business.
No. We definitely don't operate like a business.
Yeah, Mind is a community.
Yeah.
And it's more of a mindset than anything else. And so it's just continuing to evolve from that and getting more of the community involved and giving people the platform to share their own struggles and their own issues, and just like having that space for them, you know, women, children, men of every age, background, whatever it is, you know, like it's a space for everybody. I really struggled with understanding what mental health was for a long time. I felt like things had always kind of broken my way in my career, in my personal life, meeting my incredible wife, all these things. Like, I just don't know that I had ever really like struggled with it. And so it was hard for me to put a stamp on what it was. And then I got Guillain-Barré syndrome. And then I realized it had always been there. And I had just been finding ways to continue to cover it up as something different.
Even from yourself.
Oh, for sure.
Which I think sometimes people realize,
Mostly
like,
for myself.
I'm covering it up from other people, but I think a lot of it is you cover it up from
Yeah,
yourself.
it's like disassociation.
When that first time, I think that it like really hits you. You just don't want to believe it.
No.
You want to sit back and just be like, I'm just having a down week. And then you start to like pinpoint things in like your personal life or professional life where you're like, oh man, I lost this client, or oh man, I got dumped, or whatever it is, and it's like, no, you're just covering up for something that has been there.
Yeah.
And it's still there. And until you can find that space and that community to kind of chat about, it's still going to be there. So I think that's what Nick and Levi started with Mind. I've been fortunate enough to kind of step in and try and help, as a GM, and try and help push kind of this narrative along. And hopefully as we head into 2024 with some cool things we have, hopefully on the deck to finish out the year, we'll build it bigger than it's ever been. So
I think we end on that cliffhanger, dude. What's to come?
What's to come?
yeah, no, I love that.
Thank you. This is going to be a great episode.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. This is fun.
Dude,
This is a lot of fun.
You're no longer a podcast virgin.
I know.
Let's go.
For booking,
From
please
both
reach
of
out
us.
to James for future podcasts. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys. No, I appreciate it.
Thanks, dude.
Yes, sir.